Ma, 8:30.
See, from this line to this last line, so till here you copy. I will explain. Class contains two things: instance variables, methods. So general form of method, you copy it. We'll make it bigger. So now font size is okay for you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You copy till the parameter list is empty.
Okay, sir. Sir, completed, sir.
Completed?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Voice is low. Your
Completed, sir.
okay. Okay, so we will discuss this. See, the methods are nothing but functions in C and C++. So here, as usual, class contains two things: instance variables and methods. So general form of a method, here it is there. So type, method name, parameter list, and the body of the method. So see, whenever we write the methods, or we can say functions, see, we should know what are the rules. Okay, so the thing is, see, if suppose if I say here method name, then p list I will write parameter list. Okay, so body of the method, then closing brace. See, this method is there in the syntax. Okay, from this we should know what are the compulsory things we need to write any method. Okay, see, compulsory thing is method name is compulsory, that is method name is name of the method, function name which is an identifier, and parameter list is not compulsory, even the type is also not compulsory. Okay, method name is compulsory, then opening brace, that is starting of the function or method, and closing brace. Even if you don't write method name, body of the method, then also it will work. Okay, now depending on this category, depending on these rules, so which are compulsory and which are not compulsory, I think you should be knowing from C and C++. So we have some categories of functions. So functions with, so no arguments in the sense parameters, no arguments and no return value. Okay, this is one category. Second category, functions with argument but no return value. So these things are already there in C++. Okay, then third category, okay, functions with no argument but has return value. This is one category. Next, fourth category, so functions with argument and return value. I hope you people know these things from C and C++ concept only. So in these four categories, functions will exist: function with no argument and no return value, function with arguments but no return value, function with no argument but has return value, function with argument and return value. If you look at any method in Java or any functions in C and C++, from these four categories only they will write the functions. And one more type of the functions are there, that is recursive functions. See, these recursive functions also will come in this category only. Using these categories only they will write. See, from this syntax we came to know that type is optional. So writing the data type, that is the type of the value that method will return, that is optional. Then method name, that is compulsory, which is an identifier. Then parameter list is also optional. Body of the method is also optional. Okay, now coming to this MS Word screen. So look here, in the above form, type refers to the type of the data returned by the method. Okay, so whenever a method is executed, so it should return some value. So what value it will return, that values data type and this type should match. Okay, then name. So name refers to the name of the method. So this is nothing but identifier. So in bracket I can write, it is nothing but identifier. So if it is an identifier, I have to remember the identifier rules while writing the method name. Okay, then parameter list. So identifiers with their data type. Okay, so these are called as variable names. Variable names are also called as identifiers. So they have given identifiers with their data types separated by commas. If the method has no parameters, then parameter list is empty. And one more thing you have to remember is, so if suppose in the parameter list, if it contains two or more variables with the same data type, so you should not write like this. Okay, even though more variables belongs to same data type, so you have to write separately int a comma, so int b int c. In this way only I have to write. That is the rule of writing parameters. Okay. So here in the method some more things are there. So see this line, first line of the method is called as function header or signature. So this is very important. So in interview they will ask this question: what is function header or function signature? You have to tell first line of the method, which is called method header or method signature, where it includes data type, that is return type, method name, and parameter list. And one more thing you remember, there will be no semicolon for the function header. So that you have to remember, because if you consider the prototype of the method, there also it contains method name, type, method name, and parameter list. But difference is there it contains a semicolon. So semicolon is compulsory. That is for function prototype. Whereas for function header or signature, semicolon is not there. Okay, that is the difference between function prototype and function signature. Okay, so in both the cases it contains type, then method name, parameter list. So that you should know, you should be knowing. Then coming to the example. So here, okay, see till now what we have done, we have written a class, okay, that is box class. In that 3 instance variables, that is width, height, and depth. Okay, so but we have not added any method to a class. If you observe in the previous programs, say for example, I think if you look at this program, so here we have not added any method, just instance variables are there, that is width, height, and depth. Is it visible clearly? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you observe here, in the previous examples, method is not there inside this class, that is inside the class box. So if you look at the box demo class, there one method is there, that is main method. So main method is compulsory to execute Java program. But here, if you look at the class box, there is no method, only instance variables are there. But now the topic is how to add the methods for the classes. So only they are telling class contains 2 things: instance variables and methods. So in the previous examples, we have saw only instance variables. Now we will discuss how to add the methods. So if you look at this class box, inside this we have the 3 instance variables: width, height, and depth, and one more method we have added in here, volume. Okay, void volume. So we are printing volume of the box. Volume of the box we are printing, and how that method is used inside the program we will see. Okay. So just as previous example, we have taken 2 objects here, myBox1 and myBox2. Okay. So for myBox1, we are giving values 10, 20, and 15. So at this line, box myBox1 equals to new box. See, in every program I will be telling. So you have to remember, whenever you come across the word new, then only object is created. Okay, unless and until if there is no new keyword, object will not be created. But if there is no new keyword, but still if we write the statement like this, just to observe here, if I write box myBox1, so this line will not give any error. Okay, there is no new keyword, but it will not give any error. Here what happens is it will create object reference. So I can say here object reference is created, not actual object. There is a difference between object reference and actual object. Okay, so if object reference is created, so we cannot store any values. If actual object is created, we can store the values. So when we use the new keyword only, then only the actual object is created. So here we got 2 objects, that is myBox1 and myBox2. Look here. So in this screen, you can see how the objects are created. So here myBox1 object is created, myBox2 object is created. So if you look at these statements, myBox1 dot width equals to 10, height equals to 20, depth equals to 15. So we can consider the memory representation in this way. Okay. So myBox1 is an object. For with respect to myBox1, the width value is 10. In that way, we have to consider, because see, once you store the value 3, in width, you look at the mybox2 object, if you store the value 3, that 3 will not replace the 10. So that you have to notice. Okay, that 3 will not replace the 10 because every object will be having its own copy of variables from the class. Every object will be having its own copy of variables from the class. So those variables are called as instance variables. If in the interview, if they ask why they are called as instance variables in the class, whatever the variables are created, why they are called as instance variables is how to tell this answer. Every object will be having its own copy of the variables from the class. So those variables are called as instance variables. You can note down this. Why these variables are called as instance variables? You may get this question. So answer is every object of the class will be having its own copy of variables which are present inside the class. So those variables are called as instance variables. So here the value 10 of width with respect to mybox1 is different from the value 3 of width with respect to mybox2. So you see, look here, mybox1 dot width equal to 10, mybox1 dot height equal to 20, and mybox1 dot depth equals to 15. So you can consider this first diagram. Okay. Then coming to the second one, assign different values to mybox2's instance variables. So if you look at the comment, you will understand clearly. When you say mybox1, for mybox1 instance variables will be there. For mybox2 instance variables will be there. Both are different. Okay. Variable names are same, but memory is different. You can store different values. So if you look at this statement, mybox2 dot width equal to 3, mybox2 dot height equal to 6, mybox2 dot depth equals to 9. So you can consider this diagram, second one, mybox2, the diagram, and the values are 3, 6, and 9. So both are having different values. Okay. Then coming to the calculation of volume. Okay. So if you look at the code here, see, when mybox1 dot volume, when this function is called, okay, so it will go for the volume function of the box class. Look here, it will go for the volume function of the box class. See, volume function is present inside the class. So what we are doing, we are creating an object first. Okay, we are creating an object first, then we are calling that function. So it is called mybox1 dot volume. So when mybox1 dot volume is called, so that particular method is executed. So in that method, the string is volume is. So that string is printed. If you look at the output, it will print. See, volume is, then first it will calculate the values of mybox1 because we are telling mybox1 dot volume. See, from this statement, you just observe this mybox1 dot volume, mybox1 dot. So it is called as invoking object. Okay. So it is called as invoking object. That means when this method is called, when volume method is called, it will look at from which object it is called. That is very, very important. Okay. See, we cannot call the method like this. Just like volume, we cannot call like that because volume method is present inside the class. Okay, inside the class box. So compulsory we have to create an object. So that is mybox1 dot. Okay. Then this object is called as invoking object. So in the next thing also, mybox2, this is also called as invoking object. So if the volume method is called from mybox1, then it will take the values of mybox1. If the volume method is called from mybox2, then it will take the values of mybox2. Okay. So 10 into 20 into 15, if you look at the here, width into height into depth. So 10 into 20 into 15, so it will print 3000. Then if it is called from mybox2, 3 into 6 into 9, so it will print 162. So because the data type is double, so it will print 3000.0 and 162.0. So you got it right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Understood,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Any doubts? See, for
Yes, sir.
you copy the program first, then before output, you can copy this tracing also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
1 minute, I will make this. Hmm. So you copy the program. Are you people copying program?
Yes, sir.
Output also you copy.